Welcome back to Laramie. Lopes get the victory here in this one, 82-70, the final. PC and I are joined now on the postgame show with the head coach, Bryce Drew. And, Coach, first of all, congrats on the victory, the historical significance of this one. First ever Mountain Conference game, and you guys get the win.
I'm really thankful. Tough place to play. Again, they were top 55 net team coming in, undefeated at home. And, start of the game I thought was just sensational. By far our best start of the year to a game, defensively and offensively.
What did you think really stirred that beginning? Obviously, Nana came out and made some big shots and big plays, but, I mean, you guys just played your best half of basketball last Saturday, and so it was something to be able to top that.
Yeah, I think it was even better. The ball movement was really good early. Like you said, Nana knocked down some threes early. Jaden made, some nice plays with the ball. Brian, I thought FA made that first basket, kind of got us some confidence going early, and thought that those five set a tremendous tone for us. And then, we brought in the four guys off the bench, Mackay, Dusty, Will, and Caleb Smith, and they extended that lead. And so those first 10 minutes, that's as good as you could, pray for, especially in a road game.
Yeah, that first half, Coach, I don't know what it is that you tell your guys in these conference openers, but you're a perfect 6-0 in conference openers since you've been here. And the Lopes in general are 12-1 now in D1 conference openers. How do you get the guys ready and the importance and significance of starting well, but also not make too much of it?
I think you got to give the players the credit. They were extremely focused this week at practice, very focused at our shoot around this morning. In the locker room, they were locked in, and we talked about it. Significance of starting conference, road game. We haven't won a true road game yet this year. This is only our second one, but they really came out with a lot of confidence, but also a lot of determination. And it wasn't just periodic determination, but it was a 40-minute of physicality, embracing physicality, and playing with a lot of energy.
You get out to that 18-3 start with 16 in a row, but you probably don't get there unless Mackay Williams comes in and does what he does once Brian Moore Jr. gets two quick fouls.
Yeah, Brian, I thought he started us out great, set a tremendous tone on defense. Garden Walker, who was our leading scorer, and then Mackay, I think he was really good last game. I think he was even better this game. He just had a lot of poise with the ball. He had to play longer minutes with Brian's foul trouble, and so. Offensively and defensively, he was under control, made really good decisions and reads all day.
Coach, we've talked about, the changes that you guys made to a lot of things after that St. Louis game. Also the fact that you have a lot of older guys, but at the same time you're asking them to do things maybe they haven't done before. Nanawusu and Nane, it felt like he was really pushing threes, trying to become a three-point shooter early. The last two games he's kind of let him come to him, and then it's really opened up that drive in this game.
It did. That's a great point. He hit those two early ones, and then I thought he did a really good job not settling for him, but getting the ball out, and he drew a foul. He was able to get a dunk on the baseline, and really expanding his game. And he didn't play all of last season, and so he's playing much more confident, much more at ease. In these last 10 days and last two games, than he started the season with. And some could be just that he's getting back in a rhythm of playing games which he hadn't played in well over 12 months.
You emphasize physicality a lot this week about bringing it this game. In what ways did you see that play out?
Yeah, Wyoming's really physical, on the ball, off the ball, and we talked all week about embracing the physicality, and they still blew up some of our catches and caused 16 turnovers, but I thought we did a much better job. And if you go back to our Iowa game, that was really physical, and we didn't get the shots that we would have liked in that game, and it was great to see a similar type defense, physicality-wise, that our players are much more patient. They got to their spots and found each other, offensively.
Coach, it's tough to win two halves by 19, but what did you make of that second half? I felt like they kind of got back into it. Those turnovers, 9 turnovers, they scored 13 points off turnovers, and you guys put them to the foul line quite a bit with those 12 fouls in the second half. Those seem to be the two metrics that really hurt you.
It did. They kept driving the ball. We had the lead, and then I think they scored 8 out of 9 possessions. He just kept driving it. We couldn't contain the ball like we did in the first half, and so. We went zone to try to slow it down and change the tempo. They still continued to score, but it did take a little time off the clock and make them work and make some passes.
And a lot of that seemed to come off the other end because you had such success getting to the paint in the first half, and during that same stretch, that's when they were taking a lot of threes consecutively and letting them get out with advantage.
And it was, and then some of the turnovers. We had a couple live ball turnovers in there that made it hard to get back on defense. But thank the Lord they missed a lot of shots. 37% from the field on the road. That's tremendous defense. Again, this is one of the best analytically offensive teams in the country coming in. And then offensively, we shot 57%. Love the ball movement, and love how the guys were looking for each other out there.
Just big scope. What does it say about the program here to make this Mountain West debut, come on the road in a place that hadn't had a home loss and win like this?
Really happy for the guys. They've worked really hard these last 2 weeks. We had two two-a-days again this week. Like we talked, we had two two-a-days last week. And so these guys have really been investing time in the gym and just a lot of care. And it was just great to see, again, last week their hard work pay off. And then, tonight their hard work, pay off in this conference opener.
Coach, what do you do between now and tip-off on Monday night? Quick turnaround against a team that loves to create chaos and really move the ball.
Yeah, definitely, going to be a tough turnaround in 48 hours. We're going to try to get as fresh as we can. Like you said, they press the whole game. So, we have to be better handling the ball and attacking pressure. It will be our last game before, Christmas. So, getting back home will be nice in front of our home crowd. And Lopes fans, if you're listening, we need you to come out. We need you there. Again, they press a lot. There's a lot of possessions. We're going to need a lot of energy in the building to help us.
Well, hey, Coach, congratulations. First ever Mountain Conference game victory in GCU history. But more importantly, get things going in the second season on the right foot.
Thank you. Thanks, Lopes fans.
That's head coach Bryce Drew,